Chaos erupted in the Los Angeles area over the weekend.
Legal immigration.
I don't want them in our country.
Almost all immigrants to immigration reform.
Most dangerous criminal illegal immigrants in America.
This is the Bay Area, home to more than 387,000 undocumented immigrants. That's 6% of residents, 7% of the workforce, and 9.6% of all kids in the Bay Area. These are people who work, live, and raise families right here in our community. The Declaration of Independence promises 3 natural rights to all: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So the question really is, if these rights are granted to all, regardless of religion, ethnicity, or gender, are those rights actually being granted to the immigrants in the Bay Area? In recent years, stricter protocols and rising deportations have replaced hope with fear for many families. Critics argue that certain treatments of immigrants may violate natural rights. For example, prolonged detention, family separation, unsafe living conditions in detention facilities, and limited access to due process may infringe upon an individual's right to liberty and personal security. To better understand how these policies impact people, we turn to someone who has seen it up close, Professor Bill Hang.
The Trump administration really has tried and instituted many different strategies, including arresting workers on El Camino Avenue, including going to homes and arresting people that are on a list of folks that they think are removable and close to your home. Just a couple months ago, there was an arrest in East Palo Alto of a couple, and in the process, the woman was basically thrown down, and she was being transported and had a heart problem, and they took her to Stanford Hospital.
We then asked Professor Bill Hang if the natural rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness of immigrants were being violated in the Bay Area.
All of those elements are being threatened right now from the perspective of non-citizens all over the United States, but of course, including in the Bay Area.
Professor Bill's stories give us a glimpse into the reality that immigrants face, the part most of the public never sees but yet continues to occur. While conditions in detention centers raise concerns about physical safety and human dignity, questions about the treatment of immigrants extend beyond living conditions to the legal protections they are afforded.
Everybody should follow the rule that you can just walk in without any papers. But once you're in, yes, you are protected by the Constitution. Invasion of privacy, not being arrested at will, have certain due process that you're guaranteed. You have to go through courts, you have the right to a lawyer.
We then asked Mr. Haitham Bala, a local immigration attorney, if he believed these protections were being violated.
The things that I have seen is, and I think the most really draconian or serious, is they can now detain without a bond, meaning you could get detained indefinitely for now, if you came into the country without paperwork. So if you happen to be walking in, even if you've been here 30 years, 40 years, you have kids and grandkids, and if you came in without what we call inspection, you are subject to be detained without a bond.
Mr. Haitham considered this new policy a violation of due process rights and inherently a violation of the freedom of liberty. Beyond questions of due process, immigration enforcement practices have also resulted in the separation of families, raising additional concerns about fundamental rights and the right to pursuit of happiness. In order to see firsthand how familial separations affect families, we interviewed an undocumented immigrant who had been separated from their family. For safety reasons, they asked to stay anonymous. In the end, the debate over immigration and natural rights comes down to how we interpret the words of the Declaration of Independence. If natural rights truly belong to all people, then immigration restrictions may limit the liberty and opportunity of those seeking a better life. But if the government's first duty is to protect the rights of its own citizens, then border control becomes part of that responsibility. What is clear is that the ideals of the Declaration continue to shape how we think about freedom, equality, and the kind of nation we want to be. The question remains, how can the United States honor its founding principles while creating a fair and secure immigration system?